Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and members of Not Just Crew. How are we doing this evening? We are absolutely buzzing at the moment. Myself and Trevor, we're celebrating 1 year. It's our 1 year anniversary of Not Just Crew. And on this evening's show, we have the fantastic Simon Calder, who is the all-known travel aviation industry expert. You've seen him, he's always on TV. Anything going wrong in the world with aviation or travel, Simon pops up and has so much knowledge and advice. And alongside Simon, we have the gorgeous Gemma Brazier with the crew businesses. So we'll be asking Gemma how things are going with our crew market. And so, yeah, that's this evening's show. So I'd just like to bring in Trevor at the moment.
Happy birthday!
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that, guys. But you asked for him, so here he is. Trevor? Congratulations! Congratulations from a friend and co-worker, co-owner, co-founder of this Not Just Crew. I want to say a massive congratulations. You started it all just over a year ago. You began this epic journey. So well done, mate. Thank you so much for inviting an old man along for the journey. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's what a year. What an amazing year. I mean, I was going to say, when I first interviewed you on this, who knows what's going to happen. As I say, we've said it loads of times before, 37 people and a dog watching. The emphasis of the program really was just to bring crew together, just to find out what's happening on the front line. But it literally just grew. And I think you were just as surprised as me. You know, we were really happy when we got to like 50 members, then 100 members. So I was even telling you, said, look, we're going to launch this properly. Don't invite anyone yet. Next minute, you were inviting everyone. And the numbers were growing and growing and growing. And remember that one of the first shows, when we hit 500 members, we thought, well, that's it now. We can't get possibly any more people want to join. And then
big time now, 500 members, big time.
Yeah, that's it. We thought we were in. And I think somebody even mentioned that you can you start to get noticed by Facebook if you get 500 members. And it just kept on growing and growing. I think what they liked about it was this like real sense of community. You know, all of a sudden you had these people laid off who were so used to working part as a team. The airlines were too busy to sort of saving the companies to sort of speak to people individually. And I think we were the only outlet. And it was a good outlet because that outlet was for me as well.
Yeah. I remember when, because you'd formed the group, but you didn't want it launched. And I remember you were saying,
I wanted it launched properly.
You were like, I know, but I can't wait. No. And you were like, it was just sitting there waiting. I thought, if I know people, like, I know they have like the intentions of like doing things, but I like to, if it's in my head, I want it done. So I saw it sitting there where me and you were obviously like admins, and I just thought, I'm launching it. I'm just putting it out there. And you were like, oh no, I've got no content. I've got no content. So it was just like, it was Not Just Crew offering naff all.
Yeah, well, it was.
I thought, stuff it. Let's just get it on. Let's just get it on the internet. Let's put it on Facebook. Let's launch it. Let's get some members. And at least if you're sitting there, it's like before the movie starts, isn't it? You're sitting there going, right? Right, go on.
well, this was it. This is what was my big concern. I wanted something to actually put there. You got to remember, I was sort of doing Alex's podcasting course. I was newly at Wingman, Project Wingman at Watford Football Ground. I was getting to know the guys there and their brilliant team. And I thought it'd be good to have some content. And then, you were inviting everyone left, right, and centre. And I thought, literally, didn't have anything to talk about. Not anything recorded anyway. But anyway, we're over that, and we've had one or two members since.
Yeah, I mean, we sharp realised that because obviously all of our friends initially were joining the group, and then after a period of time, wasn't it, like maybe it was after a month, as other airlines starts to like like from British Airways and Jet2 and EasyJet were like, oh, this is kind of like the word must be spreading. It's gone to other airlines here. Then obviously different countries, Australia are coming in, Norway, Germany, Italy. You're like, oh my God, this is kind of like,
Yeah.
this is going so in a whole new direction that we didn't expect it to. And obviously, the Monday shows that we did every week, we were having our fantastic guests. It was reconnecting everybody. We were able to talk about old times, share experiences, what we used to do and what we used to get up to down route, what obviously our amazing guests are up to now. And then it kind of started evolving. It was like an education kind of like support network that we were offering out. And it became quite clear in an early stage that what we were delivering for our members of Not Just Crew was invaluable, because everyone was loving it. The feedback what we're getting behind the scenes was unbelievable. That people were actually looking forward to the Monday shows just so they could watch you, Trev.
Well, this is it, and I always remember. I definitely knew I'd be the main attraction, but me being me and quite modest, I didn't feel I should take all the credit. So I brought you in as a stunt double. And you know, and it was quite hard to tell us apart. And it seemed to work. But the other thing I think it started doing, initially when we started, we've become very professional since then. It was like the relaxation room with a glass of wine that crew were sort of watching. We were having a chat, having a laugh. And it didn't matter which airline you were from, because all crews are the same. Once you get down route, you're already best friends by the time you're there. And it was just a chance to have a glass of wine. Plus, we brought in some amazing presenters, you know, Ali, Tara and Jen, all with amazing stories of their own. But it's been absolutely great. And it's gone so quick. That's what I mean. I really can't believe it's, you know, May the 4th be with crew, by the way. That's our new thing for that. It's, we could have picked a better date, really, could we?
No, I know. It's funny. It's just like everything that seems to happen, like it always happens for the good. Everything seems to like the jigsaw fits perfect.
Yeah.
You know, the pieces go in. Everything we're kind of like being like throwing our hats into the arena, and like, you know, we've just gained so much encouragement and support. And it's vast majority of that are coming from our members, because without obviously our 10,200 members in the group, then, you know, we wouldn't be doing it, to be honest. And we absolutely love the fact that we can help and support and offer opportunities and invest as well in the talented cabin crew aviation world. You know what I mean? So like, it's brought us a lot of joy, satisfaction, and pleasure.
Yeah.
It's all because of those guys.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, a couple of projects that our members may not know about. I was hoping one of them would be ready, but behind the scenes, we've been working to launch a audio book, which should be out any time. We brought in the and again, it was hiding in an open sight. We brought the talent of Ali Murphy's voice acting with the creative genius of Kaylee Kay and her books, and we brought them together in a studio. So we've Not Just Crew have published our first audio book entitled Because She Could, and that should be out hopefully soon. You'll be able to get that on Amazon, Audible, and even our very own The Crew Market.
Yeah, which is absolutely brilliant. I mean, the amount of amazing things that people are able to post and sell on The Crew Market is outstanding. And it still continues to be. I mean, it's all services, and it's gifts, and it's like language courses, it's musical lessons. It just has such a wide range, and that just it typifies just what cabin crew are. When you would get on that plane, you'd meet so many different people doing so many different things, and the Crew Market's exactly the same. So many different things on there.
Yeah, and I say, I mean, Gemma's been brilliant. I'll be chatting to her later in the show just for a brief catch up of what's been going on the Crew Market. And it's amazing. It's literally becoming like a not on the high street or an Etsy. We're getting some amazing products on there. And again, what you need to realise is that's what finances some of our programming sometimes. To say, Simon, you know, we're itching to get out on location, which we're literally going to start doing. End of this month, I'll be on location with Tara next weekend. So anything that's made from the Crew Market or the Crew Bit, it's all reinvested, just so we can get out and film you guys doing your wonderful things.
Yeah. So listen, I mean, that's myself and Trevor. This is this evening's show, and we just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy, and keep supporting Not Just Crew, because we can't do it without you guys. All right.
Yeah, and our very first article up should be me shortly speaking to Gemma after these lovely birthday messages that we've had.
Happy birthday, Not Just Crew. I can't believe you're a whole year old. Thank you so much for everything that you do for the crew community and all of us, really. You're an inspiration and don't know what to do without you. Love you.
Hi, Trevor and Simon and everyone at Not Just Crew. Emma here from Project Wingman, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy first birthday. What a fantastic thing that you've all done this year in supporting air crew, pilots, cabin crew, in all the things that you and we and I have been aiming to do this year. So thank you for that. It's been great to meet so many new people. And congratulations once again on such a brilliant first year. Enjoy celebrating.
Wow, thank you so much for those messages, guys, and thank you so much for taking the time to send them in. Well, about 20 minutes ago, I was speaking to Gemma Brazier of Crew Businesses. We set up a joint venture called the Crew Market between Crew Businesses and Not Just Crew. I went to catch up with Gemma just to see how the market was going and how it already got started. Well, hello, Gemma. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been quite a few weeks and quite a year, really. I mean, just tell us what were you doing this time last year?
Oh, well, this time last year I was furloughed, like many other cabin crew from Virgin Atlantic. I was waiting to sort of see how the pandemic was going to affect aviation, and obviously the sad news that we had in the June that we were being made redundant. I was busy supporting other businesses on the Crew Business Group on Facebook, helping other people promote and market their small businesses that they'd started from home. And yeah, just seeing what was going to happen like everyone else, really, anticipating how this pandemic was going to affect everybody.
Yeah. So how did it start out? I mean, because both sort of groups, Not Just Crew and yourself, roughly started at the same time, and we've also had this conversation with Project Wingman. All these groups came about really quick. How did yours come about? Were you thinking about doing it anyway, or was it as a result of this pandemic?
No, it was started. I think the year before that. In the November, I started the Crew Business Group. It was to. So my husband had his own business, and I thought there must be other crew who've got things on the side of flying. I know lots of people were hairdressers, beauty therapists. They were doing that on their days off. And I just created the group as a way to promote and support each other. I thought if you're going to buy something or have a service from somebody, why not try and help your fellow crew in supporting their ventures outside of their flying careers, and that's really what it was all about. And then sort of slowly it started to steadily grow, and I think when the pandemic hit, people were furloughed. They were finding other ways to supplement their income from things they could do at home. And obviously at that point, none of us knew what was going to happen in the following year to come. So it was really a support kind of group for so many. They didn't really have anywhere else to turn once they'd been made redundant. And I think especially within our group, there's a lot of support. There was a lot of advice. There was a lot of just general being crew and having each other's backs. So that's what I loved about the group, especially when the pandemic hit. It was great to see so many crew supporting each other, giving advice, buying from each other. Everyone at that point, I think, whether you were on furlough or you'd been made redundant, everyone's sort of financial situation had taken a real hit. So for so many, this was a real lifeline. I know a lot of the businesses, they've really been helped by the fellow crew within the group. They've all been using each other's services. They've been buying gifts. They've been buying presents. Lots of things. So it's been really lovely to see just people within the group supporting each other.
Yeah, it was a real call to action, wasn't it? Really. We're here on our first birthday today since our first official show went out on Not Just Crew. But yeah, it's the same. Yeah, a real call to action. I mean, your group, similar to ours, skyrocketed in membership. I mean, on our first show, which I know Simon's mentioned, we had like 37 people and a dog watching. And then, membership just went from, we were really excited when we hit 100 people. that it skyrocketed. I mean, and yours did. I remember watching your figures going up into their thousands, which was absolutely amazing. Which is sort of say why I definitely wanted to have you on the show originally. Obviously, our groups have worked really closely together since then. So much so we came together in Bournemouth. Was it last year or this year? No, last year, September last year, to create the Crew Market, which has literally gone from strength to strength. I say it was bringing people together who had an idea of the business, but taking their worries away from them, such as credit card payments, and that you could literally list on the market with one product. I mean, the markets. I mean, I've seen the way how the market's been redesigned. What's your plans along with us for the future of the Crew Market?
Well, I think both of us, haven't we? We really want to reach as many people as we can worldwide. We've had our first USA listing last week.
Ah, brilliant.
Very exciting, from a business in America. It's an aviation themed board game, and he's a flight attendant based in California, which is fantastic. So yeah, for me personally, I would love to see more businesses from the rest of the world join us. I really do want this to be an inclusive aviation cabin crew, pilots, everybody from around the world to feel really part of the Crew Market. It has been phenomenal to see how it's grown since our original idea from the Christmas market, and now we relaunched it in the beginning of this year to the Crew Market. It's giving an overhaul of the image on our website, so hopefully it's more user friendly, it's very fresh, it's really visually appealing, so you want to spend a little bit of time looking through all the amazing products that we have, and also reading the stories of how those businesses started, and with any luck and hope it will inspire other people to maybe start their own business, which is the whole point at the beginning for us, wasn't it? Was to really inspire and help each individual launch their business, promote their business. And now we've kind of grown. We have really established businesses on there already. They have their own websites. They're really up there with the other products that are in their field, in their industry. Really, really great brands, which is, for me, I feel blessed that they want to be part of the Crew Market. So yeah, to have really great established businesses on there just goes to show how fantastic and how they want to be a part of the Crew Market as well. And they feel really connected to being part of the cabin crew and the aviation community.
Oh yeah, and I say, I know your plans. You've got lots of ambitions for the market, literally to become its own sort of Etsy or not on the high street. And I know so many sort of crew are always worried about their pictures aren't good. But I mean, I know you've got everything on there to help them. There's not one problem we can't help them with if they want to set their own business up. And I know with Crew businesses, we're going to be doing some TV programs as well for the YouTube channel on people who have already started their own businesses. We're trying to get people from the government on, like the people who deal with patents and copyrights. So we're going to have those for future shows. But it's good. And then I'm just hoping within a year's time, our next Christmas market or the Christmas market will be a world builder. But that's amazing. You've got people coming in from California now. So no, that's absolutely wonderful.
It's really exciting, and it's exciting that they've obviously seen us on our Facebook groups, which are reaching a bigger audience as well, and getting a lot of international interest. And for me personally, if we could have even more from the UK, but even more from the rest of Europe, from worldwide, to join us, we really do want this to be a full international community in a marketplace where they can showcase their entrepreneurial skills as well.
Yeah, and we'll continue to encourage people to join, sign up. We're literally going to have everything they can to start their own businesses, because as you know, I mean, when you were flying, you came across people. Simon Crew had these good ideas, but sometimes they're a bit reluctant to put their sort of plans into action, but we can certainly help with that. Okay, Gemma Brazier, thank you so much for joining us on our first birthday. I'll forget that one. Right, thank you so much, Gemma, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again soon. We've got lots of programming we're going to make with you coming up, hopefully in the second part of this year. So Gemma Brazier, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, it's Lisa from Qantas Down Under, and I just want to wish the entire Not Just Crew team a huge happy birthday. And I know I speak on behalf of everyone when I say we are so grateful for all that you do, and you are hands down the best Facebook page for crew around the world. So thank you again, and cheers to another year. Happy birthday.
Hey guys, my name's Leslie Hart, and I just wanted to say a happy birthday. Happy first birthday to Not Just Crew. What an amazing supportive group, and I'm so proud to be part of it. Special thanks to you, Trevor, Ali, Alex and Simon. Thanks guys.
Hi guys, happy birthday. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hope you're doing okay. Thank you so much for this Facebook page. It's helped me get a position as a 111 health advisor, but more recently as a NHS COVID vaccinator. So sorry I look a little bit rough, but I've just come off shift. So, but yeah, well done guys, and thank you. Bye. Mwah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Not Just Crew. Happy birthday to you. Happy first birthday, legends.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, earlier on today, I was fortunate enough to be talking to the gorgeous Kelly Senior, who, for all of you who are unfamiliar with Kelly, she marketed and took care of our total new rebranding of Not Just Crew. So I was asking her basically how she came about it, what was her inspiration, and just finding out a little bit more about Kelly Senior. Well, oh, there's my aeroplane gone flying. Whoops, Daisy, get you back on there. Very good evening and a massive welcome. Everybody, I want you to be introduced to this wonderful young lady. It goes by the name of Kelly Senior. Now, what many of you probably don't know is that Kelly Senior behind the scenes has been working super tirelessly. She's been in charge of all of our rebranding when we've gone from the Not Just Crew, all logos, to what we currently have now. She's absolutely took the bull by the horns when it comes to producing merchandise and all the designs. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd just like to introduce you to Kelly Senior. Good evening, Kelly.
Good evening, Mr. Costello. How are you?
I'm very good. All the better for seeing your beautiful face this gorgeous evening. Right, now listen.
Yeah.
I want to basically ask you, I know the answer already, but like I want our members to know kind of what your background is with social media and what gave you the ideas to come up with the brand, the logo, kind of the restyling of Not Just Crew. What was your inspiration?
Right then, Simon. Well, I have worked on social media and design for a few other companies over the years while I've been flying, just as a little sideline. And I've followed Not Just Crew for, since the beginning, really. I've followed it everywhere, every sort of step of the way. And I remember you looking out for someone to do a logo. I remember somebody, who was it? Was it your daughter did a few logos? Somebody done a few refreshes on the logos, and I remember, you would put them out there to see if people liked them. And I just thought, I was just sitting one night after I'd done the interview with Trevor on the vaccinator role, and I just thought I'd knock a couple of logos together, and I sent them to you. You'd obviously had a couple of beers and you loved them instantly, and we said, right, like that logo. We sort of did a few. We did a few changes, and the rest is history.
Well, honest to God, it's like everything that you were like putting up, you were spoiling us for choice. It's like we love them all, to be fair, and it's so hard when you've got so many different choices in front of you. But like we all agreed, and we'll put them out there for our community to kind of like cast their expert eye over them. But it's just such an amazing thing to actually have that creativity. And because me and Trev, I mean, as amazing as what we are, with yes we are in our little bubbles, like there's certain things we're limited to, with our expertise. But like this is where this group has become absolutely invaluable, because you've come on board, Kelly, and you've kind of transformed not just like the logos and like give us like another kind of like boost of enthusiasm, but like with social media as well. Like, how come you're so good and so like savvy when it comes to social media aspects?
I think it's just because we're in a digital age now, and I think if you either like it or you don't, it takes up a lot of your time. But I've got a lot of I start flicking on the phone at night time. I've got 2 little girls, and I just suppose when I've done marketing for other companies, I suppose you just find any time to just sort of sit and do a little bit of networking and things like that. So I just enjoy it, really. It becomes a bit of an addiction.
You do so much. You do so much. I mean, yeah, you've never been one to like shy away from a challenge. I know that because I've known you for many years. I mean, other than flying, which, you know, you're FSM of Virgin Atlantic, you've been there for how many years?
22 years, and I've just done my refresher course, so I'll probably be flying in June. So looking forward to that as well. But it's just a great getting into, marketing, social media marketing and things like that. It's a really good sideline for anyone who would want to do it, to run alongside what you call a proper job, if flying is a proper job. But I do little bits and pieces here and there, you know. So
you came around and you tried to sell my house one time. you had your own estate agency business.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but really enjoyed that. But no, I'm enjoying. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you and Trevor. I think, you know, there was a little place for me in the back end, as we call it, to sort of try and keep things right and a little bit more organized, and just sort of give you a few tips on what's already a really, really great group and page and business, really. It's going to be massive, and I think that you're going from strength to strength. Obviously celebrating your first birthday tomorrow. May the 4th be with crew. Great catch line from you and Trevor, which I worked on. So, you know, I just see great things for you, and it's nice to be a part of it.
Well, hopefully you won't be hanging around that back end for too much longer, and you can get around the front, and really appreciate all the good stuff.
I mean, you know, I think if you like designing and you like doing artwork and things like that, it's a pleasure to do. It is.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant to have you on board the Not Just Crew team, Kelly. You're a legend. You're an absolute legend, and you're a credit to all things that are crew. So welcome on board. I just wanted to introduce all of our members to you, Kelly, and I just want to thank you. Me and Trevor want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything you do. So cheers, darling.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Not Just Crew. Can't believe it's a year since you started up with an amazing group. Be totally lost if you hadn't. I've benefited from the group from the very, very start, and I've been proud to be a member of Not Just Crew from day one. So huge happy birthday to you both, everybody. Also just can't believe how much stronger this group's becoming week after week, month after month, and just bigger and better things always seem to be cropping up. So you're doing an amazing job. Don't stop. And happy birthday to you. Bye.
Hi, it's Erica from Project Wingman, QE Gateshead. I just want to say a big happy first birthday to Not Just Crew. It's great to be part of this amazing group showcasing what crew can do. Have fun. Love you guys. Thanks for all the support.
Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A massive welcome to Not Just Crew. Tonight's show, it's our birthday. It's our first anniversary. We are so pleased and quite proud, I've got to say, to have this gentleman on our show. He's all things. Whenever there's something goes wrong, he pops up. He pops up on TV. He's on the radio. He is the guru, the all-known travel industry, aviation, go-to kind of guy. And this person we'll have on our show this evening. So I'm so happy to announce Simon Calder on our show, ladies and gentlemen. Bring him in, Trev. Well, good evening, Mr. Calder.
Well, how lovely to see you. Happy birthday, happy anniversary. And look, congratulations to you and the Not Just Crew team for all you are achieving in these incredibly difficult times. My heart goes out to every single one of you. Nobody deserves what you've been through over the past 15 months now. And all I can do is say that I've always championed the incredible professionalism of Crew, and I will continue to do that and shout for the industry.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much, Simon. We really do appreciate it because it has been such a difficult 15 months, especially with all the airlines. I mean, like Flybe, Thomas Cook. I mean, just to name a few, and obviously British Airways and Virgin having to cut back from Virgin Atlantic had 4,500 crew. There's just approximately over 1,000 working for them now, cabin crew. It has been so difficult. I mean, even my wife, she's hung on there. She's hung on there by a fingertip. She still works for Virgin Atlantic. Always been a dream job. She's been there 25 years, just as Trevor, who will be coming in soon. And obviously, with so many people losing their jobs, Simon, it's been horrific, and they've had nowhere to turn to. Luckily, this group is kind of like was formed that from the ashes, basically, and it's been a kind of go-to group for the support that crew have needed, where airlines have basically said, look, we don't need you anymore. Really sorry. Bye-bye. They've had nowhere to go, but they've kind of come to us. And luckily, 400 to 500 people have managed to gain employment from the support that we've given the group, you know. So it's been a tough, like you say, 15 months, but, you know, it's been rewarding in other ways as well. Right, listen, anyway, that's a short little summary of kind of, it's not about us anyway. Listen, we want to have you on the show because we want to talk to you, Simon. It's not about us, right? Everything, I mean, I've followed your career ever since probably I started flying, which was, 1998. I mean, how long have you been? Yes, unbelievable. I mean, I'm scratching on the door of 50, you know, in January next year.
No.
I know.
Oh, my goodness.
I put it down to it's the good living in Crawley of all those years when I used to.
Just to point out, everybody, as Simon I think knows, I was born on the A23, just south of the runway at Gatwick. If you know the Tushmore roundabout, well, there. So, and I was brought up in Crawley, and of course, I love the place. I love the airport. But I love all airports equally. And yes, and I know you've been doing fantastic things. I was lucky enough to be vaccinated. Obviously, you and Trevor, way too young to have been vaccinated. But I went along to Westminster Abbey, and it was a member of British Airways cabin crew who administered my jab very well. I hope you will all be back in the sky soon, of course.
So, have you had both jabs, and Simon, or is it the first one?
Unbelievably, I have. I went on standby to get the second one, and literally, I mean, it was exactly like standing by as crew or a passenger. You know, just sort of any chance of and they said, "Oh, go on then, in you come," and it was absolutely lovely. So
which one did you have?
Well, funnily enough, the first one I had was a Vauxhall Astra. Yes, it was. I went to so there I was. It was beginning of February. I remember I'd suddenly got this text saying, if you click on this link, you can come and have a jab. And I clicked on it, and they said, right, in your area, and I live in South London, Vauxhall is the place to go. So I went along there, and I got me Astra jab. But then I kind of self-upgraded for the free refill, which I had, as I say, in Westminster Abbey.
And did you have any side effect, any of the vaccines that you received?
For about 24 hours after both of them, I felt really smug because my mates hadn't had them yet. So, no, that was all.
Oh, brilliant! I had a bit of a bad arm, but that was about it. I felt a bit groggy, but me too. I did feel a little bit smug. But I don't know if you know, I work for the ambulance service now. I left and took redundancy from Virgin Atlantic in 2009, so I work for the ambulance service. So like they had to jab us, otherwise, you know, it would have looked bad for the NHS if they didn't do the frontline ambulance service. So we managed to receive them. Listen, I'm going to bring in the fantastic co-presenter that is Trevor Jenkins. Come on, Trev. Come and say hello to Simon.
Hello, Simon. Lovely to meet you at last. It
Trevor,
really is.
That's enough for me.
You should have heard what he was saying about you earlier
Well,
before we brought you in.
I was having a small sherry in the green room with Kelly, and I could hear it all and see it all on the big monitor. But on behalf of Not Just Crew, thank you so much for joining us. As you've already mentioned, obviously a Crawley lad. Now, was the beehive operational when you were growing up, or had it already closed? Because it's quite controversial. I know, because I can't remember it closed. I love the history of the beehive, but I don't know when it closed down.
No. Right. Okay. So it goes like this: 1936, Beehive opens. Absolutely the first completely pioneering, revolutionary airport terminal. It was built so that you could actually get off the train at Gatwick Airport Station, which at the time was actually slightly further south than it is now, obviously. And you walk under through a tunnel into the terminal, and then you're as you know, small place, small planes parked outside. You just step on the train. I think on the plane, and I think you could very comfortably get from the centre of London to the centre of Paris in the 1930s in 3 hours flat.
Wow!
So you couldn't do that now,
No, exactly. If anything, it's gone backwards really with the well, even when it was normal times, with the curing security. But yeah, that's amazing, because I know the Beehive was amazing. It could handle up to 6 flights in one go, if something like that, possibly more.
Oh, sure. Anyway, it was then, it was used for various things. The CAA spent some time there. Then it became the headquarters for GB Airways. And that was when I sort of mostly went there. Astonishing place, quite remarkable. But by about 1958, Gatwick had hugely expanded. And where the South Terminal is now, actually, lots of the South Terminal as it exists now was exactly what was built in 1958. Incredible survival.
Oh, wow.
And of course, there's large parts, everything's just been bolted on up to and including Pier 6, where, of course, if you're a passenger and you're running late and you're on Pier 6, you kind of slightly lose the will to live. So anyway.
It's a long journey.
Years ago, before it was the airport, didn't Gatwick used to be like a race course or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. It was a race course, which obviously, you could in those days use a race course as an airport, because you were landing on sort of grass strips, and so it worked quite well. And then the race course disappeared, and the airport as we know and love it took over. And I mean, up until the start of the coronavirus pandemic, I remember talking about the really exciting things they're doing, and that would include, and I wonder if how many people have done this, the standby runway at Gatwick, which is quite exciting when you come to land, because you're going past the terminal really very close, and you're trying to land on the standby runway. Well, they're going to press that into service, as you know, and effectively have 1.5 runways. So it's only going to be allowed for takeoffs and only of up to A320 or Boeing 737 size. But since that's what EasyJet's got, then it's a huge advantage, and make it even more efficient. And let's hope those times come back soon.
Yeah, let's hope so. Can I ask you about, was your love of flying and travel because you lived in Crawley, or were you a journalist? Did you try to be a journalist first and fell into travel, or was travel your first love and then you went into journalism?
I always wanted to be a traveller. Yeah, but not. I mean, it was Crawley, but not in a good way. Okay, so so growing up in Crawley in the 1970s, you just thought, what is this? I'm just stuck here forever. And so luckily, I learnt how to hitchhike, and sort of age 12, and then age 13, from Thomas Bennett School, where I went to, you could get through a hole in the fence onto the A23, hitched down to Brighton, and that was, as it is now, an absolutely fantastic city and a great place to enjoy yourself. So and while in those days there was absolutely no way I would ever be able to afford to fly because the fares were so high, it was really exciting to travel. And of course, as soon as you work at an airport, and I cleaned out the offices of British Airways. I cleaned out the planes of Freddie Laker.
Yeah.
I frisked people. That was a job, not a hobby. And yeah, of course, I hugely envy people who are crew and fly for a living. But even as ground staff, or doing very peripheral roles, it's such an exciting buzz because aviation just connects the world, and there's always stuff happening. It's all about people and excitement and sometimes tragedy, but it's just a really, really human industry.
I've got to say, hey, watch it, Trevor. I've got a question here. I'm coming in there. Right. So, Simon, like you've been everywhere, like a billion times. Slight exaggeration, but you get the gist. So, my experience and the fun for me is when I start to like my journey getting to the airport. It's all about the customer service you receive, and it all begins from when you get to the airport. You get to check in. You see an amazing person at check-in, and you're getting a good service. And it has to continue from there. It has to continue from there all the way till I get on the plane. And I'm always looking to see what kind of service I'm getting. Do you feel exactly the same? Does your kind of journey begin at the beginning, like at check-in? I'm guessing people treat you a bit differently because of who you are, but is it the same for you?
Well, look, okay. I don't tend to go to check-in. I realised in the new world, we'll probably all have to go to check-in to have our various papers checked, but I'm always traveling with hand luggage only, partly because I'm a skinflint, but also because I know from experience that if things start going a bit tango uniform operationally, if you've only got hand luggage, you can immediately switch. So I was down at Gatwick, and I was booked on a Tampa on BA, and that went technical, so I just said, "Oh, I've only got me bag. Can I go to Orlando instead?" And they said, "Fine, off you go. Here you are." So it's always good. And of course, what's happened, and it is a shame the way that you got so much automation, but it's just quite straightforward. Actually, the first person I will probably have any contact with is at the gate, checking my boarding pass, getting on board. But those ground staff people are fantastic because I am always the last one on the aircraft. Not in a bad way, because I'll always go along to the ground staff and I'll just say, look, and it's generally true, I've got a couple of calls to make, or I've got a story to finish. I'll just be sitting here, just let me know when I've got to get on. And they're always very, very good about it. And I'll just get on. And then I don't look at, the cabin crew will look at my boarding pass and see which seat I'm in, but I won't. And that's not because I'm going to self-upgrade. It's just because I'm down the back of the plane and I'm simply looking for a couple of empty seats together, so get myself a bit more space. But I absolutely celebrate the fantastic professionalism, the customer care, the everything that cabin crew do for travelers. And of course, ultimately it's all about safety, and I do what I can to try to convince the traveling public, pay attention to the safety briefing. And of course, these people are here for your safety. If they want you to, they want you to be able to survive a perfectly survivable incident. And unless you pay attention, you're putting yourself at risk, you're putting them at risk, and you're putting other passengers at risk. And I keep trying to get that message across. But of course, I mean, the converse is that flying is now so incredibly safe that a lot of people say, what could possibly go wrong? And I know you could give them a great long list, guys, of what could possibly go wrong. It doesn't.
I was going to say, Simon, when you check in, I mean, you've gained, I'm not sure if it's your own motto, but you're known as the man who pays his own way. Is that a title you developed, or was that thrust upon you from the media industry?
No, I can't remember how it came about. Right. So, well, you asked me kindly earlier about my how I got to be lucky enough to do this job? Well, it was all a terrible accident. I'm not a journalist, or I wasn't. I was an engineer for 15 years. I did a maths degree. Then I was an engineer, but all I really wanted to do was travel. So I wrote guidebooks because that was a good way of kind of subsidizing your travel habit. And then the Independent started up, and the whole thing about the Independent was that they didn't take any free trips. So they liked me because I didn't take any free trips because no one would give me any. And therefore I wrote articles for them, and I did a bit of that. And that was all fine. And then suddenly the great Frank Barrett, who was the first travel correspondent, left to go to the Mail on Sunday, and they phoned me up, and it would never, ever happen these days. Honestly, you'd have to have 17 interviews and they'd look at my CV and say, "You're joking, pal." But they didn't. And so I've sort of clung on. And since then, I've found out a bit about journalism, and I think I'm gradually getting better. But it was incredibly fortunate. I do wake up every morning feeling very, very grateful that I'm lucky enough to do this.
So in the early years, I mean, when I was growing up, I used to watch programs like Holiday 77, 78, and they were great programs, and they don't seem to really have those anymore. I mean, I know this year would have been a washout completely, but that used to get everyone going for holidays. Why do you think those sort of kind of programs stopped?
Because I was in them.
I love them.
True. No, it is true. Right. So I absolutely agree. Now I'll see your Holiday 77, and I'll raise you Holiday 1969. I think was the very first one, and I remember watching this on this sort of grainy black and white TV. Oh, that's what Benidorm looks like. How amazing! And knowing I'd never be able to go there anyway. Eventually, if you hang around long enough, you will get hired to do some films. And I've managed to be in the very last episode of about 3 or 4 BBC travel series, which have all been closed down. So I haven't personally been sacked, but they've just so happens that the series is closed down. So I did the very last film in the very last holiday program ever, which was 2007, and it was a trip down the Mekong without a paddle. But there we are. And so now I still do filming, and filming is the most fun you can ever have. So we make films commercially for the Independent. So the last one I did was December, when, if you remember, there were about 2 weeks where there was one place in the world as a British person you could go to without any checks going there, any checks coming back, and that was Gibraltar. So we went out and made a film called 48 Hours in Gibraltar.
Yeah. Actually, I remember hearing about that trip on the Mike Graham show. Actually, I remember you telling me about that as well. Do you like working by yourself? I mean, I know you mentioned filming, or do you like working as a team, like with a crew?
It's so much better working with a crew, working with the. I mean, it's like any kind of team. It's just you spark off each other. It's much better. I mean, it is very, very solitary, and it has been solitary sitting here with my laptop, trying to keep track of what's going on. And that's why it's lovely to talk to you guys and your wonderful audience, because humanity is all about making contact, and we've all been kind of locked in. And I can't wait to get out filming again and get out actually just talking to people, talking to the crew in the galley, getting their tips for the destination we're going to. It's all fantastic.
I tell you what, it's pretty amazing. You must pinch yourself from time to time, Simon. Like you're doing, if you go back to like you were a little boy living in Crawley, what you've kind of accomplished and what you've gone through your journey to now. You've ticked every box. You know what I mean? It's like you must pinch yourself from time to time.
Oh yeah.
Who's in the Bronx? Who's that? Is that a copper going past someone's house? But yeah, you must pinch yourself, Simon, from time to time and think, wow, this job is unbelievable. What I've been doing.
Oh sure, yeah, I do. Look, every single day I am incredibly grateful, and it also helps, and I'm sure you've kind of found this with some of the jobs that maybe you've done. If you've done some really challenging jobs, I used to be a maths teacher of all things. Can you believe? That's tough. and just working in factories, being a cleaner, all this sort of stuff. And then suddenly you get this job. So what I've got to do is go to places and then write about them and talk about them, and I get paid money for that. What? I mean, it is simply too good to be true. Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is though, like when you're on TV, right? I mean, normally it's something's happening in the aviation world, travel industry. You are the face. You are the face, Simon. You're the face. Believe you me. But like, people listen to you because people respect you and kind of like know how knowledgeable you are about all things travel related. That must be a damn good feeling to know that people like respect you.
Oh, look, that's so sweet of you, Simon. I mean, basically, I'm cheap and available. And I must say, I've heard similar things about Trevor, but I don't want to repeat rumours.
Cheaper than you think. Cheaper than you think.
You can't be that cheap. It's of course, it's an absolute honour and a privilege. To be asked and to be invited to broadcast. Of course, it is. It's an absolute honour and a privilege talking to you. But it's I don't expect it. It's great when it happens. But I'm a freelance. I'm just have to try and stagger from one gig to the next. And if you're all right last time, you might get hired again. And that's the way I look at it. Just every single day, I'm grateful to be invited. But if I'm not, that's fine. I mean, I just want to go out and see the world.
Do you ever have like a lazy day, where you're not doing anything, or you're constantly just at it?
Well, I can't remember, Simon, because that was in the olden days, pre-COVID. I mean, considering I used to do, I used to talk about travel and how the industry was working and all the fantastic places you could go to and all the incredible value you would find flying from the UK. And now I spend all my time talking about the many and varied different ways we can't actually go anywhere. And I can't believe that this demands sort of 14-hour days. And I don't mind for one moment. It's absolutely engrossing, but it's desperately distressing because there's so many terrific people who've been working in the industry who are just under the worst of circumstances. But from a purely professional point of view, it's hard work, but it's just every single day, a bit like flying, something different is going to happen.
Yeah, Simon, adding to something Simon said earlier, how did you become, and I know you're going to be modest about this, but I'd love to know the background. How did you become the go-to person for this? Was there one story that you covered?
And don't say it's available.
Yeah, because you're certainly. But no, there must, because if anyone thinks of travel, and I know you'll be modest about this, but if anyone thinks of travel programs, your name is the first name that comes up. So, yeah, what was it? What made you the go-to person?
Right. Well, that's kind of you to say so. I mean, there's many great people out there, and I will.
There are, but you're the best.
You're very kind. No, look. I don't know, and a bit like getting my job as the travel correspondent, you wouldn't, if you thought, right, I want to be travel correspondent at the Independent, you probably never get there. You only ever get there by accident. But if you remember ABTA, the Travel Association, they used to have a really good guy called oh crikey, oh no, this is so embarrassing.
He was really good, really good.
We remember him. Yeah. Sorry to everyone if the signal went funny. It did. Simon did say his name, but the weather here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, they had a great spokesperson. I was just so desperately involved. And of course, as you know, 2 minutes after we finished speaking, I'm going to remember his name. Yeah. Anyway, he was the ABTA spokesperson. And whenever there was, the equivalent of an ash cloud or, the terrible events of 9/11 or whatever, he would pop up. And the thing is that they, for some reason, sort of stopped taking that role. So you needed someone who was vaguely independent, who would try and put forward exactly what was happening, but not in a in an impartial way, So that sort of just happened. And I suppose the more you do it, the more sure you are about how to do it, if you see what I mean. And the basics is just a bit like crew. Part one, get there on time and be where you're supposed to be on time. And if you can do that, then if you're seen, I guess, as reliable, then that will happen. And also, no swearing and no libel. That's always good for your characters.
Well done.
That was it. How do you I mean, are you commissioned on pieces of work, or do you say as a freelancer, I'm going to go to this place, would you like me to do a story? How's that planned out?
Right. Okay. Well, it's I remember I used to go traveling to places vaguely. I can't remember when that was. No. Here's how it works. So I do a number of stories for the Independent. I mean, that's, I guess, the thing I do more than any other element of my work. And if something happens that here we are, we're talking on Monday evening. I was a bit late coming to you. That was because I had suddenly the European Commission had decided to do something about holidays. So therefore I will write a quick story for the Independent to try to explain that. But in terms of, let's go forward just 2 weeks from when we're talking. I'm going to be somewhere on the 17th of May. The government won't tell us where it's on the green list, so I can't even start planning. But I know that I will be somewhere. I will want to, report on the airport experience going out there, the in-flight experience, and actually getting there. What's it like going through passport control? And hey, we're in Malta or Israel or Lisbon or wherever it happens to be, and here's what's happening. So, and I will, but most of the time it's just stuff happens in travel, as you will know, and kindly broadcasters sometimes pick up the phone to me, and so even ahead of turning up, you have to answer the phone. I think that's probably it.
There's never a dull moment, is there, with the travel industry? It's always where the drones are going on.
The drones,
the drones.
Remember that 300 years ago? Or you've got the Iraq War, you've got tanks flying around airports, you've got the atrocities of 9/11, you've got this horrendous pandemic that's just done awful things to many people's lives. There's always something going on with the travel industry, isn't it? It's just such a lively kind of like living, breathing, like entity. It's brilliant.
Yeah, well, a bit like Trevor, really. Sorry.
Well, this is it.
I
am a living entity.
Yeah. But look, what do you expect? This is incredibly complex industry, as you know. Just for a flight to take off from Gatwick and get to Malaga, there are 100 moving parts. If all the personnel involved have to be at exactly the right place at exactly the right time, doing exactly the right things. And, things are going to go wrong from all points of view. Once you introduce weather, once you introduce mechanical breakdowns, drones, that was very exciting. I basically camped at the South Terminal for 3 nights. And along with very many hundreds of poor old passengers. So it's the number of things that can go wrong in travel is limitless, but nobody thought they would go as wrong as this.
I know.
No, it's certainly. With that in mind, Simon, how do you see the future of holidays at the moment, especially with staycations? Do you think the British seaside is going to have a renaissance? Are we going to go down to Cornwall? Well, we do already, Cornwall and Jones, but I mean, I think of the neglected holiday resorts like Mygate. Are they going to have resurgence?
Well, they right. Okay, there is no question other than the British seaside will have a terrific summer this year because so many people, here we are 2 weeks before we can go abroad again, and the government won't say where. An awful lot people don't like uncertainty. They like looking forward to their holidays. And therefore, if you know that you're going to get a fortnight in Skegness, and you're not sure about going to Spain or Greece or wherever, then you're quite possibly going to settle on that, and that's going to push the prices up. It's going to fill the get the occupancy sky high, and therefore they will do well. It is absolutely up to the UK domestic tourism industry to demonstrate fantastic value for money and great service, and we have yet to see if that's going to happen, so that people might come back again. But at the moment, with so many obstacles to overseas travel, it's clearly going to benefit the UK, and thank goodness for that in some senses, because they had a terrible summer last year. But it's there isn't room in Cornwall for all the people who want to go to Cornwall, and it's a question of whether people can spread themselves out, and whether when they do have a holiday, well, you can't do much about the weather, but is the service good? Is the is there plenty of stuff to do? You just can't tell. And I would be delighted if people thought, yeah, actually, UK's all right, and I'll take some more, spend more time here. But I'm not sure. We have got so used to the idea that we've got a week, a fortnight in the Med, that I think that's going to be that's going to take. I think an awful lot of people are going to be thinking, I just can't wait to get back to that taverna. You remember, Trevor, the one that Simon got thrown out of last night?
Well, when Simon sent me those pictures, what Simon was doing, that was quite a shock. But thanks for that. So, because I've got nearly 2 years of blackmail material to hold him to that. But you did well that night, Simon.
Yes, thank you. But the police have dropped charges, I think.
They have.
I'm like that with the West Sussex police. They know me very well, and I've got a lot of dirt on them as well. Right, guys.
Well, you could do it. You could do your own AC12, couldn't you? That'd be good. I'd watch.
I bet you would.
Simon's Line of Duty.
Yeah, easy, Tiger, easy. Right, listen. We're coming up to 32 minutes. We've kept you long enough, Simon. We really appreciate your time. Charlotte's going to kill me. We could go on all night talking to you. I swear to God. So I'm going to ask. So one quick, short question that I'm going to, and then we'll do some closing comments. So my last question is, it's short and simple. When you get on an aircraft and you've flown with so many different airlines, which has been your kind of like favorite uniform? Now, I'll tell you what mine is. Mine's Singapore. I think unbelievable, stunning, amazing, so beautifully presented. Who's been your favorite uniform crew-wise?
Well, I'm going to say, and I love all crew uniforms, but I'm probably going to say early EasyJet. Because apart from anything else, there's a funny story attached, which is that I think they had to go to about 17 branches of Benetton to get all the all the cabin crew outfit. And so, I mean, it was a bit orange, a bit garish, but just different. And people actually wearing just looking as though they were comfortable. And I think people are comfortable when they know the crew are comfortable too. I'd forgotten about that. Definitely not. I've got here on my wall, these are a couple of Aeroflot posters. So the old Tupolev 144 and the Ilyushin 62, terrible aircraft. But I don't think I would ever, I wouldn't nominate those as my best my best flights.
On that note, favorite aircraft then as well.
Oh, look, whichever is going in my direction and has a seat for me at a decent price and is ideally going to be on time. And I must say, I absolutely celebrate the fact that safety is a given, and that's because of all the fantastic professionals who work in the industry and put their heart and soul into it. And I just, I'm just on your behalves so saddened that the government has not shown more respect for the incredible work you do, for the fact that the UK had the leading aviation industry in the world, incredibly competitive, incredibly successful, and they've just kind of let it wither. Now, because I know you guys, I know that things will come back and you will be great again, but it won't be any thanks at all to the government, I'm afraid. They have let the industry down badly at the same time as, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands. How many more billion would you like? to keep your airline going. It's extraordinary. I'm not. They and you know the great airlines that the UK have. They're not interested in subsidies. They're interested in actually doing what they do best, which is getting people where they need to be, to see their loved ones, to get their business transacted, to go on holiday, and they're great at that. And they just need a chance to prove it.
How could they not help Thomas Cook out back in the day? Thomas Cook was there. Like, had the little shop in like, I'm not sure if it was Westminster or the House of Commons or whatever.
Yeah.
But Thomas Cook, it was like, it's like an institution, wasn't it? You know, It was like being around. And how did they not help Thomas Cook out?
Thomas Cook had some very, very big structural problems to do with sort of £1 billion of debt. And I mean, I've seen Trevor's credit cards, and so I know that that's a big, big problem now.
And thanks for clearing that, Simon.
Thank you. Yeah. So and Flybe, another very heavily indebted airline, and I don't. It's just awful when this happens, when airlines go bust, but they have done ever since the dawn of time. And what happens is that the industry actually emerges stronger. And the terrible thing, of course, of Flybe staff, 2,400 great professionals, they would in normal times expect, after a short while, relatively speaking, to be getting into other jobs, and they absolutely haven't. But the airlines that are around are very, very well run, very resilient, which is just as well. The markets are lending them billions of pounds, even if the government isn't putting its hand in its pocket. So they will be around for the long term. But just the complete lack of interest in keeping this industry going and to have a world-beating industry is terrible. I mean, Heathrow, previously the busiest airport in Europe. I've been talking to people who've said won't come back. Istanbul will take over, then Paris, then maybe Amsterdam, then Heathrow. It's a terrible tragedy. But the only thing I can say is that the government presumably knows, we've got this fantastic industry with these great people, so we don't need to worry about them because they will bounce back.
We shall see. We shall see. But,
right, Trev, last question, Trev.
Yeah, well, it's not a question. It's to say that it's a plug for you, actually, Simon. Your podcast, and you should have been there, is an absolutely fantastic listen. So anyone watching this who wouldn't know anything about travel, please have a listen to that.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's only 29 minutes long, and it's free every week. You should have been there, and you can find it online.
Wow,
certainly can.
So listen, thank you so much. We've totally stole you for an extra 18 minutes here, but I don't care. It's been great talking to you, Simon. It's such a joy to have you on the show. It's great to see you. Actually, I can't believe that we're talking to you. I see you so much on TV. It's whatever you've got to say, it just speaks a lot of sense. And you explain yourself in a way. This is going back to like when Trevor was asking, how do you think you became the go-to kind of person? Because you explain yourself so clearly to people who probably don't understand travel or aviation or anything. Like you put it in a way they can understand. That's why. And you're very presentable, you're personable, you come across like very well on TV. Better than what I do anyway.
No, Simon, you don't want to be my agent, do you? Fantastic.
But listen, thank you so much, Mr. Calder. What a joy to have you on board, not just crew, on our first birthday. It's just so great to see you. So thank you so much for coming on.
Great to see you. And look, I look forward to seeing you on board. Thanks a million for everything you've done for me and billions of travellers over the years. And I can't wait to be back. Thanks a million, guys.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you.
Thank you. Simon J. Martin coming at you. Happy birthday, Not Just Crew. Got to be in it to win it.
Hello, and a very happy first birthday to Not Just Crew. From me, Anne-Marie Burmester. I'm here on holiday in St. Ives, and let me show you this beautiful, beautiful place where I am at the moment. Just absolutely stunning. And I just want to wish everyone who's part of the group a happy first birthday. I want to thank the guys for setting it up, especially Simon and Trevor, who are just amazing individuals. The altruism they show for other people, for helping other people is just incredible.
And there we have it. Thank you so much for joining us on our first birthday. That's been a quite a show, and thank you for spending the last hour with us. Also, thank you so much for the birthday messages you've sent in. I think there's still 2 more to come straight after this. Also, while we've been recording this, I've had an amazing email. We've been working on a project since mid last year, where we brought the skills of voice actor Ali Murphy and joined with our very own Kaylee Kay, the writer of the Osprey books. Now, we've been working on an audio book project, which, as I say, we started mid last year, and I didn't expect it to be finished for about 2 weeks, but I literally had an email today, within the last hour, from audible.com saying, yeah, the book is up and is now published. So it couldn't have really happened on a better day for us. But we're going to do a separate program. But what I will show you in the meantime even, is some of the artwork. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, this is what we've been working on. So I'm so proud of this. But as I say, we're going to be doing a separate program on that, hopefully within the next week or 2. But other than that, once again, thank you so much for joining us on our birthday here at Not Just Crew.
Happy first birthday, Not Just Crew. I can't believe it's been a year. Well done, you guys. You do an amazing job, and you've helped so many people, including myself. You helped boost my new business last year, Higher Standards Elite Flight Attendant Training, on one of your Monday night shows, and it's just gone up since then. So thank you so much, and have a great birthday.
Happy birthday, guys at Not Just Crew. I'd like to thank Simon and the team for all their support in everything that you do. This page is amazing. Keep it going. It's so lovely to hear everybody's stories. Congratulations, guys. You deserve it. Happy birthday.